Long towards Dolan. And right back across the face of goal. It's Bruce, and it's in! Joe Bruce, the defender, has put the Conference South side in front. Barnard. And it's John Grant who's there with the equaliser. Grant takes his total up to 12 for the season. And more importantly, he has brought Aldershot Town level.
Now, sometimes when players score against their former club, it's the done thing to keep the celebrations muted, a mark of respect for your former paymasters and fans. Sadly, nobody told Northampton's former Barnet man Scott McLeish, as he celebrated in style after heading the Cobblers in front at Underhill. But little did McLeish and his colleagues know of what was to come. Birthday boy Adam Burchell isn't the biggest, but the man on loan from Mansfield summoned all his body strength to force his way past Northampton's Sean Dyche to equalise for Barnet straight after the restart. Not a bad way to celebrate your 22nd birthday. Within 5 minutes, the League One side found themselves behind as Dean Sinclair dived in amongst the flying boots to put Barnet ahead with a flying header. From a short corner, Barnet worked the ball into the box, and McLeish's early joy turned to despair as he brought down Jason Puncheon. The Bees skipper, Ian Hendon, scored his 5th of the season with the penalty that followed. Man of the match Puncheon was the man in form, his cross picking out substitute Magno Vieira for Barnet's 4th goal. Another giant killing for Barnet's manager Paul Fairclough, who's enjoyed a few such days in the past. The all-League One meeting of the Bantams and the Lions was a more even contest than the nicknames of Bradford City and Millwall would suggest. The Lions went close early on when Bantams keeper Donovan Ricketts made his bid for save of the round to deny Ben May. If that was save of the round, this was lucky save of the round. Millwall's Lenny Pidgley defecting Jermaine Johnson shot onto the bar after it came back off the post. All totally planned, of course, so it's a replay at the New Den.
Stafford remain that rare breed in the conference. They have part-time players holding down day jobs. They didn't stay over in Brighton the night before, travelled as normal, ate breakfast en route. But there was an early wake-up call when they went a goal down inside 20 minutes. Dean Hammond scoring for Brighton. The last time they were knocked out of the cup by a non-league side was 9 years ago. It wasn't going to happen again. After an hour, their slick football led to a second goal. Alex Revel with a header. No way back now for Stafford, and with seconds remaining, Brighton broke away. Fluid football. Dean Cox played in Jake Robinson, and the teenager scored his 12th goal of the season to complete victory for the League One side. Bristol Rovers were on a roll. 6 league and cup victories, and right before half-time, the most ideal of all times in football, the chance to take the lead. Bournemouth's Stephen Purchase handled the ball in the box, penalty given. And their keeper had to face Rovers' leading scorer, Richard Walker. But after the break, Bournemouth bounced back, hit the woodwork 3 times and were finally rewarded. James Hayter bravely threw himself in to score the equaliser. He must be tired thinking about a replay. It's at the Fitness First Stadium.
Just 3 places separate these two sides in the middle of League Two, so a tight cup tie was always on the cards, and so it proved. It took an hour for the stalemate to be broken, substitute Lee Steele giving Chester the lead. Andy Bishop curtailed Chester's celebrations, though, with an equaliser soon after. The FA Cup, of course, has a history of romantic stories involving butchers, candlestick makers, and here a baker, Richie Baker, who seemed to have turned the tie upside down to give Bury the lead. But Lee Steele was determined to steal the show, first in the acceptable shape of an equaliser, to make it 4 goals in 10 minutes, only for his exuberance to land him in trouble and back in the dressing room. Steele's reputation no longer stainless.
Pratley, the Swansea captain, tries to bring Alan Tate into play. Robinson's back there, Dennis Lawrence. Leon Britton. Lawrence has to intercept quickly, untidy defending by Swansea. Danger here, they could be under pressure early on. Good challenge, but it's in the back of the net. Trundle by himself, Duke has gone across to meet him. Trundle, though, has enough ammunition, enough in his locker. Tries to pick out Britton. Leon Britton, chance for Swansea! Leon Britton! Swansea City back on level terms. Classic breakaway goal. No real flow to the game at the moment. Trundle might change that though. Leon Britton. Trundle promising for Swansea this. Taken on by Pratley. Good save. Chance for Robinson. 2-1 Swansea City. It's taken them 6 minutes into the second half, and it's the first real move of the game in the second 45 minutes by either side. Akinfenwa, that's 3-1. Toe poked it home, powerful toe poke, off the post, and out of nothing, it's 3-1 Swansea City, and they're through to the third round of the FA Cup.
The FA Cup and Hereford United always seem to produce names to remember. And after a goalless first half, Luke Webb unleashed this superb shot from the edge of the box to start the rout of League One side Port Vale. Luke is the son of former Manchester United and Forest midfielder Neil Webb. It got worse for Martin Foyle's League One side when Vale keeper Mark Goodlad brought down Tim Sills. The Hereford skipper, Rob Purdy, stepping up when it mattered to increase the lead from the penalty spot. It turned into football's equivalent of a captain's innings from Purdy, who troubled the scorers once more with a deflected second goal. And Sills was involved again, crossing for Andy Ferrell to finish in style, completing a miserable day for Vale and another FA Cup day to remember for Hereford United. The visit of League One side Oldham Athletic drew the biggest crowd in 55 years, over 5,000 to the Walks, the home of Southern League Kings Lynn. Chris Porter put the Latics ahead, beating homekeeper Sean Marshall to a cross. Some protest from the home side that Porter may have used a helping hand along the way. But Kings Lynn, still without a manager since the departure of Tommy Taylor, put up a brave fight, and it took a late header from Chris Hall and some woodwork to ensure Oldham made it through to round 3. Macclesfield's FA Cup form over 2 first-round games was in stark contrast to their dreadful league start. But goalkeeper Asmir Begovic was helpless on his debut as defender Carl Regan's touch saw him credited with an own goal despite the efforts of Hartlepool's John Daly. But Regan got his own back when Hartlepool's Anthony Sweeney handled his point-blank shot on the line. Eventually, Sweeney saw red, with referee Clive Penton blushing red after dropping his card. None of which distracted Kevin McIntyre from converting the penalty to revive Macclesfield's hopes of a money-spinning tie in round 3. And that dream became reality when John Murphy headed in a free kick to send the Moss Rose fans home dreaming of a possible third-round tie between the nation's top and bottom clubs.
Mansfield Town of League Two were seconds away from a third-round place, only for the team 30 places above them to spoil their day. 23 minutes in, Gareth Roberts handled in the box. Mansfield had a penalty. Richie Barker doing the honours for his 12th goal of the season. Rovers then had 4 penalty claims turned down, but where there's a will or a deflection, there's often a way. Brian Stock firing through the crowd. Doncaster squeezing out a replay. In a former life, MK Dons had a famous day in the FA Cup, but that Saturday in May 1988 seems a world away from life in 2006. And in this one, Blackpool the visitors and Blackpool the winners. Keegan Parker putting the League One side ahead with the outside of his boot. And shortly after the break, Parker was at it again, causing trouble in the Dons' defence. His cross found Andy Morrell and he did the rest. Blackpool, as expected, go through. Tamworth and the FA Cup seem to go rather well together. After this 2-1 win over fellow conference strugglers Rushden and Diamonds, they're into the third round for the second season running. Just before half-time, Steve Burton put them 1-0 up. And John McGrath extended their lead with a memorable individual effort 13 minutes from time. Tom Shaw pulled one back for Rushden late on after some rather suspect defending, but too late. The non-league name going into the third round draw, Tamworth again.
That was probably the worst we've played for the last 4 or 5 weeks. You know, I had a bit of a go at half-time at the boys. Didn't really inspire them second half, but we got the second goal, got the fluke. Second goal, and that was a great goal, and you know, we hung on in the end. But it's a great result for us.
Darren Ferguson and Mark Jones both over this one. Jones to take. Chance for Williams. And Danny Williams, who's very useful in the air in those areas. It's back with Jones. Oh, what a goal! It's Mark Jones! Completely against the run of play, and Mark Jones has scored a screamer. Comes the corner for Wrexham, header from Evans, chance for Wrexham, is it over the line? The referee has said yes.
Carling Cup quarter-finalist Wycombe Wanderers went ahead at their League Two rivals with a powerful header from the former Stockport favourite Jermaine Easter. But County's pressure paid off when David Poole was brought down by Russell Martin. Not much doubt in the referee's mind, and even less from Adam Proudlock as he dispatched the spot kick into the bottom corner to equalise. And there was more pride for Proudlock, who struggled to live up to some early promise at clubs like Wolves, Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich, when he produced the neatest of finishers to win the match and send Stockport County into the draw for round 3. Sammy McElroy enjoyed plenty of FA Cup success as a player, and he must have thought more was on the cards for his Morecambe side as they pushed Swindon Town to the limit. Adriano Rigoglioso's free kick saved by townkeeper Phil Smith. But with a replay looming at Christie Park, Morecambe's Michael Howard, in blue of course, was politically incorrect, fouling Swindon substitute Lucas Juskovic 2 minutes from time. Christian Roberts converted the spot kick to send Swindon Town flying into round 3.
A league apart but in the same boat, both Torquay and Leyton Orient are having a torrid time at the wrong end of their respective tables. The cup a potential breath of fresh air. Brian Sarr was unhappy to see his tangle with Torquay's Jamie Ward turned into a penalty. Ward himself then tipped a bucket and spade full of salt into the wound by tucking away the penalty for the South Coast side in Lubos Kubic's first game in charge. But with less than a quarter of an hour left, Orient salvaged a replay. Wayne Corden cutting in from the left to slot gleefully past Nathan Abbey. Peterborough left behind their League Two promotion push to concentrate on the Cup and try and bridge the 26th place gap to League One high flyers Tranmere. Things didn't look so promising when Shane Sheriff laid down the law on the half-hour mark, advantage Merseyside. But the tide turned Peterborough's way, starting with Danny Crow's leveller, turning home Adam Newton's low cross on half-time. History certainly favoured Peterborough. They'd won all 3 previous FA Cup ties with Tranmere. Danny Crow had clearly been reading up, adding his second of the game and the winner to maintain that 100% record.
This tie was pure entertainment from kick-off. Bristol City started the brighter, looking dangerous even before Phil Jevons embarked on his first half hat-trick. 20 minutes in, Jevons brought the ball down beautifully before simply picking his spot past Gillingham keeper Kelvin Jack. And a little over 10 minutes later, Jevons got the better of him for a second time. The former Everton striker then completed his hat-trick bang on half-time, totally unmarked. He shot past Jack like he was on the training field. 3-0 at half-time, surely game over, but this is the FA Cup. Gillingham came out on a mission, surging forward. The ball fell to Gary Mulligan, who volleyed home for 3-1. But City weren't having that. Jevons then set up the impressive Enoch Shawunmi, who made it 4 with the Gills defence all at sea. You couldn't take your eyes off this for a moment though, because straight away Michael Flynn's looping header pulled another back for Gillingham. And the drama continued right up to the final whistle when Gillingham got a penalty for a foul in the box. Flynn stepped up with a cool head to grab his second. An inevitable tense finish, but City clung on. 4-3 the final score. Their season just gets better.
Forest corner into the danger area, went a mighty long way before it's driven in by Tyson. And Nottingham Forest lead. Morgan got his head on it. Holmes is arriving. Can they squeeze it in? They can! Mark Tubbs has equalised. Look at the delight. Salisbury City walking in a Wiltshire wonderland on level. And it's Matt Tubbs with the goal. Luke Prince, uncharted territory for Salisbury City, and well done to them. They are into the third round FA Cup draw for the first time in their history, and they're heading to the City ground for a replay against Nottingham Forest.
Now let's just recap that FA Cup sponsored by Eon. Third round, Blackpool at home to Aldershot or Basingstoke. Barnet play Colchester United. Sheffield United are against Swansea City. Reading meet Burnley. Portsmouth play Wigan Athletic. Mansfield or Doncaster against Bolton Wanderers. It's West Ham United at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. Leicester City play Fulham. Derby County play Wrexham. Wolverhampton Wanderers are against Oldham Athletic. Bury or Chester City against Ipswich Town. Manchester United against Aston Villa. Sheffield Wednesday play Manchester City. Tamworth meet Norwich City. Salisbury or Nottingham Forest meet Charlton Athletic. Cardiff City play Tottenham Hotspur. Preston North End at home to Sunderland. Liverpool and Arsenal meet. Bristol Rovers or AFC Bournemouth meet Hereford United. Watford against Stockport County. Crystal Palace play Swindon Town. Bristol City at home to Coventry City. Peterborough United against Plymouth Argyle. Queen's Park Rangers against Luton Town. Southend United versus Barnsley. West Bromwich Albion meet Leeds United. Hull City against Middlesbrough. Birmingham City play Newcastle United. Torquay United or Leyton Orient meet Southampton. And Everton are against Blackburn Rovers. Chelsea meet Macclesfield Town, and Stoke City against Bradford City or Millwall. And the ties to be played over the weekend of the 6th and 7th of January next year.